You know, there's something about this entire situation that really makes me pause and think. I've been looking at it closely, chums, and the more I analyze it, the more baffling it becomes. The most obvious thing that stands out to me is not just that the As Ever brand has struggled, because, let's face it, every new business has challenges, but how it seems to have been handled from the very beginning. And I want to make this clear. I'm not saying this to be cruel or dismissive. Anyone who launches a business needs to do thorough research and understand the market before even thinking about the brand name, the products, or the marketing. It's absolutely crucial if you want any chance of success. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more updates and insights, don't forget to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the latest news and discussions. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this story. This is something I learned very early on, during my own start in variety entertainment. Back then, you always had to ask yourself, what do people actually want to see? What kind of program will hold their attention? What will make them come back for more? And when you move into television, it's the exact same principle. Even now, I talk to people in the industry every single day, and it never ceases to amaze me. You pitch someone a story idea, and they might tell you, I'm not really interested in that. We should try something else. And you have to accept that, because the audience's preferences are what really matter. Then later, when ratings drop, the blame often gets misplaced on the staff or the production team, even though the root cause was simply ignoring the audience. You get what I mean, right? Now, when it comes to the bigger picture of the As Ever brand, this is where it gets really interesting. From the very start, the brand has never truly connected with people. And the main reason is simple but critical. Meghan Markle and her team didn't take the time to properly align what they were offering with what the public actually wanted. People weren't looking for just a celebrity-branded product. They were looking for a brand they could connect with, something meaningful, something they could feel good about buying into or supporting. Instead, what we saw was confusion and missteps, particularly with the American Riviera idea. It just didn't work. There was no clear identity, no story behind the branding, no consistency. It was just superficial messaging without any substance. And to make matters worse, Meghan suggested that the people supporting her were being too cautious with the brand. Now, if those supporters wanted to be brutally honest, they could have easily said, "You've left us with £10 million worth of products that are almost impossible to sell." But they didn't. They stayed polite and professional, which shows a level of restraint that perhaps wasn't appreciated. And then there's the ongoing situation with Netflix. We keep hearing statements like, "No, we're still working with them." But realistically, if there's nothing new in the pipeline and you're just using their name for attention, it feels like milking something that's already exhausted. The Netflix name does bring attention, sure, but it can't fix the fundamental issues. And when you think about whether these projects will ever really take off, the answer, based on everything we've seen so far, is probably not. Moving forward, things get even more intriguing. Meghan is now heading to Australia, and we've learned that she has also registered or licensed her products in Great Britain. This suggests she might be planning to launch something there, which is quite a bold move when you think about it. I mean, can you really imagine her jar of jam on a shelf next to King Charles's products in the Highgrove shop? It's hard to picture, isn't it? Yet, she has also expanded into Canada, New Zealand, and other regions tied to the royal brand. And this is the same family she has publicly said made her life so stressful that she struggled to cope. The contradictions are obvious. The hypocrisy is clear at every level. Now, let's dive even deeper. This is where it gets interesting. Good morning, by the way, it's great to have you here. Thank you for joining me again. This is always a topic that sparks conversation because it's fascinating to see how celebrity branding intersects with public perception, money, and influence. If you think about headlines claiming that someone sold 1 million jars of jam and made millions, even though we know these claims aren't accurate, you might start wondering if there is any real business opportunity there. And Meghan has relied heavily on her personal connections. For example, her close friend Marcus Anderson allowed her to place a few jars of jam in his establishment. And when you really look at it, that's where things currently stand. It's not exactly impressive. It's a modest beginning that has been portrayed as a major achievement. It's similar to asking a friend to display your product in a corner of their shop. That's perfectly fine as a first step, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes when you treat that as the pinnacle of your success and publicize it heavily. Meghan even made a video about it, which she seemed proud of. And you can't help but think, no, this isn't the right way to grow a brand. Another key point is that Meghan and her team, if we can even call it a fully cohesive team, are now actively searching for serious investors. Yes, there are lawyers and advisors, but what's really needed is financial backing from experienced business people who understand the market. Reports suggest they have reached out to wealthy and influential individuals who could potentially save the brand. Now, think about this carefully. Meghan clearly has connections. Hillary Clinton visited her at Frogmore Cottage, so the networks are there. Then there's Emma Grede, a highly successful businesswoman, and of course, the Kardashians, who are extremely powerful in the business and branding world. So why haven't these individuals invested? In my opinion, and you can let me know if you agree, it became apparent what the Kardashians thought about Meghan after the backlash over the fake photos and controversies surrounding her public image. That relationship likely soured. Kris Jenner, being the experienced businesswoman she is, would probably think twice before getting involved. All of these figures were, at least on some level, sounded out as potential investors. On paper, it made sense. Bringing in people with experience in branding and business could have helped enormously. Someone like Emma Grede alongside the Kardashians, or even Jamie Kern-Lima, who built a very successful brand after starting as a news anchor, could have brought credibility and guidance. Interestingly, some could argue that being associated with Meghan actually helped raise the profiles of these other individuals. While Meghan's brand seems to be struggling, the others gained exposure. That might sound harsh, but it's an observation based on the facts. Suddenly, these names are more visible, and the association, even if indirect, gave them extra attention. As a result, they might appear in interviews, podcasts, or public discussions. But when it comes to actually investing money, that's a different story. The silence is telling. Meghan might respond by saying that she advised these individuals not to get involved, perhaps to shield them from risk. But true friends or supporters would still speak up in some way. They might say, "I tried this product," or "I liked that item." Support doesn't always have to be financial. It can simply be vocal or visible. And for reasons that aren't entirely clear, this level of support has helped others in their careers, but not Meghan Markle. So the big question now is, does she realize this reality? Or is she still caught up in her own world, believing these individuals are fully behind her?